What's going on, everyone? So one of the big advantages the Lakers have over the Warriors is our guard play. Now, obviously, the Warriors have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, guys like that, but they're not very good on the defensive end. And we saw that in game one. We saw Dennis Schroeder be able to essentially get whatever he wanted. Shot 50% from the field, 19 points. D'Angelo Russell shot nearly 50% from the field. He was 47%, 19 points. You saw Austin Reaves be able to penetrate. He was 4 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 10 points. And the thing that really helps is it takes pressure off of LeBron and AD. Obviously, AD should very likely dominate this series. LeBron James, he has shown the ability to just get to the basket. Settles a little bit too much for three, but regardless, he's able to put his head down and get to the basket. But having Austin Reaves, having D'Angelo Russell, having Dennis Schroeder, guys like that be able to kind of just penetrate the defense, get to their spots, and generate buckets, it makes it so much easier for Anthony Davis to continue to thrive, LeBron James to get better spots, and just the team in general to perform better, right? It's not a coincidence that every time we win, the Lakers have 5 or 6, 7 guys that are in double figures. Same thing happened in game one. You had 5 guys in double figures, and then Vanderbilt, he almost was in double figures with 8 points. He was a bucket away from being in double figures. So I want to see that continue in game two. But the big thing that I want to see with Austin Reaves specifically, played 40 minutes, only had 10 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 overall. And he didn't have a bad game by any means. He didn't, right? He had 10 points again on 4 of 9 shooting, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Solid. He struggled a bit on the defensive end, right? That was one of his advantages, one of the things that he was really good at. And one of the key points that I expressed in my breakdown video, if you saw that. If not, go check it out after this video. But in my series breakdown video, I said that Austin Reaves needs to win the battle against Klay Thompson. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Austin Reaves has to outscore Klay Thompson every game, but he needs to be efficient and effective and, provide that spark for the Lakers. Because if you look at the regular season, Austin Reaves won that battle every single game. And that was before this iteration of Austin Reaves. This version of Austin Reaves is much better than he was the last time we played the Warriors in the regular season, which is crazy to think about. But Austin Reaves needs to stay aggressive. I want to see Reaves be aggressive. I want to see him, stay in attack mode, operate in that mid-range that he likes to get into, and just get into the teeth of the defense and generate fouls, right? The Warriors love to foul. They're one of the biggest teams in the league in fouling and playing defense while fouling. And we saw that in this first game, right? Lakers got 29 free throws. And so Austin Reaves, he's a guy that thrives in contact. And we've seen him be able to generate contact, put guys into foul trouble, and still finish through said contact. We need that from Austin Reaves. We need him to stay in attack mode. We need all of our guards, not just him, stay in attack mode, but Dennis Schroeder was in attack mode and had his way. D'Angelo Russell was in attack mode and had his way. I want to see Reaves do the same thing, especially if he's out there 40 minutes a game this series, which very likely is going to be the case, right? He's one of our young, fresh legs. We saw him close out game one in Memphis, and we could use him in this second game. If the Lakers win the second game, this series is over, right? Golden State isn't going to beat the Lakers both times in LA. Worst case scenario, you're up 3-1. Best case scenario, you sweep the Golden State Warriors. And the Lakers cannot let up. They need to come with that intensity. They need to come with that aggression. Everybody, right? Not just Austin Reaves. But Austin Reaves is one of the guys in that group of 7, or well, I guess 6, because I wouldn't really count Jared Vanderbilt in that group, as far as like guys that can just go get a bucket, right? Jared Vanderbilt, incredible, unbelievable, just monster defensively, and he just did a number on Steph Curry. I did a whole video breaking that down. Go check that video out as well. But he's not a guy that's just you can give the ball to and he can just go get a bucket or set other guys up. Not yet. I think he'll get better. He's 24 years old. He's only going to improve. But Austin Reaves is one of those guys. Austin Reaves is one of those guys that could easily go get you 20 on 50% efficiency. And we saw Dennis Schroeder, who had a really tough time in Memphis and just did not show up at all. He had that one game where he had 12 points. That was the game that went into overtime. And he almost sold that game. But he was brilliant in this game. And then D'Angelo Russell, he's really stepped up and played better and was a huge factor in that Memphis Grizzlies series and in game one against Golden State. They're going to get their way. Austin Reaves is that guy that can go get his way. He's one of those guys that can go and go get 50% plus from the field, generate buckets, generate contact, which leads to early bonus, which leads to more free throw attempts, which leads to, Draymond Green or whomever ends up drawing the foul to now be in even further foul trouble. And the Lakers can continue to slow down and control this game. Austin Reaves might be our best at that, at just creating contact, drawing contact, and finishing through said contact, right? D'Lo had a couple nice plays, stuff like that. But Austin Reaves and his ability, he was able to do it against Memphis's defense. And the Warriors are nowhere near defensively, especially their perimeter defense, the way that Austin Reaves is. And I even had some people that mentioned, like, well, maybe, it was just the moment. He was nervous, something like that. I don't think that's what it is. Like, Austin Reaves hasn't really seemed to be a guy that folds under pressure or is that feels like, a moment's too big for him. It almost seems like he's better in those moments. And he just like quietly, to Laker fans, probably not so much, but to most people, just quietly got you like 20 a game on like 50% efficiency. Like, it was insane. And so I don't think that that's what it was. I just think that part of it was, Anthony Davis was dominating. You had Schroeder, you had D'Lo, you had guys that were really picking up the slack. And Reaves only took 9 shots. But he is a guy that I'd like to see in attack mode, right? Like, be aggressive. In that game, it just seemed like he was a little too passive at times. There was a couple instances in that game where he had gotten to his spot, and instead of looking to score like he usually does, he was looking to like pass out or try to find AD or something like that on a lob, where I'd like to see him like, hey, you're in the teeth of the defense, go up, elevate, and go get a bucket, right? Like, you don't have a Triple J that's going to meet you at the rim. You're running into Kevon Looney or Draymond Green, like, attack them, right? He's good enough to get into the chest, finish through that contact, and put it on the refs, especially if you get Draymond Green. The ref is probably going to call that on Draymond Green every time because it's Draymond Green, right? And he's not really a ref favorite, right? He's not a guy that the refs go, hey, you know what? We'll give him a pass that time. No, he's a guy that absolutely, if you just jump right into his chest, even if it's not a foul, they'll probably give it to you because it's Draymond Green. And now, of course, Austin Reaves, in the regular season, you saw him a lot. He would go and he would purposely seek out contact, put it on the refs would blow the whistle, he'd get an and one, or, if not, he'd get to the free throw line, something like that. That clearly dries up in the playoffs. But he made the adjustments, and we saw him in real time make those adjustments in the Grizzlies game. And look, game 2, he might be aggressive. I wouldn't be shocked if he, gave us 20, 25 points in game 2. But my thing is, like, I don't want him to fall into a pattern of just regression, I guess, and not being aggressive and seeking his spots, because that game that D'Lo just has a bad game, or Schroeder just doesn't show up that game, or say AD instead of 30 is only giving us like 22 that game, or LeBron's having a game 5 game or something like that. Austin Reaves can be that decider. Austin Reaves can be that difference maker that can go and win you that game if a guy or two are having an off night, because Austin Reaves can thrive. Like I said, he was eating the Memphis Grizzlies. I imagine he can do the same thing to the Golden State Warriors. And then on the defensive end, I want to see him tighten up better. He's a guy that we need to play quality defense, and he's a guy that can guard Klay Thompson. He's a guy that can guard, Jordan Poole. They're gonna make their shots. They're gonna hit. It happens, but it's about like difficulty. He was having hard times fighting through screens. It didn't seem like the Austin Reaves that we had seen in the previous series and even throughout the regular season. At least to me, it looked like he was like there's just something going on, and I don't think it's an injury. I don't think it's the moment's too big or anything like that. I just think, he had a rougher game than usual, which happens. Austin Reaves has been so great and has done it so quickly. It's hard to believe that, it's year 2 for him and, he's like 22, 23 years old, right? It's like at times we're just like, we expect him to like go out there and just dominate the game of basketball as we've seen him be able to do. And he's still playing the game the right way. This isn't really like a huge criticism. I'm not trying to say like, oh, Reaves is in trouble or anything like that. No, it's just I want to see him continue to stay that aggressive Austin Reaves because we're going to need that at some point in this series. Very likely it might be game 2. We also will likely need it in future series, right? If we get through Golden State and we play Denver, you're going to need Austin Reaves defensively to guard a KCP and to also be able to take KCP and just beat him off the dribble and go get to his spots and generate buckets and have, get him into foul trouble, stuff like that. Or, a Bruce Brown or even a Murray, if you got to put him on Murray at times, or he gets switched on Murray. It's a big ass to guard Steph Curry. And so I don't mind that. But like Klay Thompson is easier to guard, especially in today's Klay Thompson, the version of Klay that we know today. He's not the Klay Thompson that he once was. So I want to see Reaves stay in attack mode, stay aggressive, fight through the screens and stuff, and just be the version of Austin Reaves that we know he is capable of being. That's the only thing. We need to stay focused. We need to stay ready. We need to stay aggressive. We need to continue to push these Warriors because you don't want to let them get back into the game. If we steal game 2, the series is over, right? If we end up losing this game, we're still in a great spot. We split both ways. And I do think, and I said this for day one, my whole breakdown, I said I thought the Lakers would win in 6, and I thought that this series would go exactly like the Grizzlies series. I thought that they would win game 1, lose game 2, win 3, 4, 5, they lose, game 6, they win, right? I still think that that's very likely the case, but I want to be wrong in the sense of like, oh no, the Lakers just won in 5, or they just won in 4, because they got both games in Golden State. And I think Austin Reaves is going to be a huge reason why we win game 2 if we are to win game 2. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Again, not criticism. I'm not trying to get too into it, right? It's not a big thing. It's just, again, there's always ways to be better for the next game. And this is one of those things, in my opinion. So it's just more of like a critique of like, hey, like I want to see Austin Reaves do X, Y, and Z for game 2. And just going forward for the series and beyond this series, rather than like, Austin Reaves. Again, he had a good game. It just wasn't what we expect from Austin Reaves, I guess, for lack of a better term. But again, let me know however you feel down in the comments below.